Hello, friends. How are we? I hope we're doing well. Sorry, please hold. My thing is tangled. Okay, there we go. Make sure that everything is working. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hello, friends. Are you still going to see Housemaid? After what Amanda Seyfried said about Charlie Kirk. I did not see what she said, but if it was something nasty, which it probably is, considering you're asking me about it, GRP, I am still gonna watch it, but maybe we'll hang out with Jack Sparrow to watch it. Hi, everybody. I saw Highlander. The message is the chat scrolling. Here we go. Black Silverhawk is here. Hertz is here. Dave is here. Snowrexy is here. Mongoose, Andrew Matthews, Davian, GRP. Deranged Lunatic has been tagged. I don't see you, but hi. RIP Vinny's balls. Yeah, RIP Vinny's balls. Don't worry though. Hi, Saw. Don't worry though. The sack is still there. Oh, jeez. Oopsies. The sack is still there. It looks so gross. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? I'm sorry I had to postpone this yesterday. But a lot has come out. Oh God. In the last 24 hours anyway. One, personally, Vinny got neutered. We also found out that he has hookworm eggs in his poopies. So he's on, like, I don't even know. I have never seen so many medications in my life. Honestly, the dog has way more prescriptions than I've ever had in my life. He's got so many meds that he's on. On top of that, I took my poor cat Nightwing to the vet today. So that was yesterday. Today, because he has a really bad ear situation. So he's on a bunch of meds now. We spent about $1,000 at the vet in the last 2 days. It's insane. Insane. Anyway, so I just figured we would do a you know, I feel bad. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I feel bad for Vinny though, because he's feeling better than yesterday.
What does winning the lottery and having a threesome in Thailand have in common? They both involve six matching balls. A little humor for today. Smiley face emoji.
Jeez. That was loud and annoying. Thank you, Highlander, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. They involve 6 matching balls. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna replay that, see if it still echoes. Oh, well, it didn't work. Why is that echoing so bad? The heck? Did you guys hear that? I'm gonna replay it again.
Saucy balls.
Thank you, Wicked Virtue, or Among Us for the Wicked Virtue blurb for saucy balls. Okay. $5 super chat. Okay, that's coming through. Let me know if these last couple are echoing.
A few moments later.
Hey there, hey, a few moments later. Andrew Matthews, 10 British pounds. That one hasn't played yet. Hopefully it'll play here in a second. There it goes.
For the vet bills.
Yay! Thank you, Andrew Matthews, for the 10 British pounds. Oh, that didn't echo. Okay, but you guys can hear it. Okay, sorry. Forget that I have to fix this stuff. Because I have it set for like our watch parties. And so it echoes. I have to fix it. So I think I have this muted. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while. Monitor only. Anyway, I feel bad for Vinny. That was fine. Okay. I feel bad for Vinny because he is feeling a lot better today. Yesterday he was whining and he was uncomfortable. And today he is feeling a lot better. And all he wants to do is play, and he wants to go out on WALKs and like act like normal, and we can't because it's literally been a day since, you know, he's got stitches and stuff. So I got some meds while I was at the vet today with Nightwing. I got some like gabapentin, which is going to make him drowsy, and I'm just going to knock him out the rest of the next couple days until he heals a little bit more. because I can't take the cone off yet because he immediately tries to lick the stitches, and that's not good. So he's poor guy. He's trying to navigate. But I feel bad because he's feeling better, and so but I still can't let him play. You're not gonna believe what they just did to me. I know. Anna is not in the chat. Sorry. 7 days and dog years. It really is. Hi, Mars, and hello, Papa Pumpkin. Hello, hello. So I do have actual things to talk about today. We're just going to talk about like the last week. I also want to talk about people that have just lost their FA loving minds over the last week, and I'm talking about the liberals. I mean, they've lost their minds. But I'm also talking about the right a little bit. Okay, some people with the Starbucks situation, you guys need to calm down. We've got Candace Owens. That girl needs to have her internet removed. Her husband is a beta. But anyway, we'll talk about that. And then I have happy clips. So it's not all going to be sad. It's not all going to be dark. But we got to talk. This is on my noggin. It's heavy on my noggin right now. And I need everybody to chill. So we're just going to talk about some stuff and things. Thank you guys for the super chats. The first thing I want to talk about, we're going to start off happy. Hold on. I got to get it screen captured. Hi, CJ. I see you sneaking in. I do want to talk about this. I just saw this. Oh, let me make this bigger. I just saw this. You guys see that okay? I hope so. I just saw this on Twitter right before I went live. I can't make that any. No. Okay. Right before I went live, for those of you who can see it, Lone Star has been a member for 8 months. Thank you, Lone Star. Let me zoom in a little. If you are in San Diego County, I wanted to bring this up. If you're in San Diego County, Invita Cafe in San Diego County is their little coffee shop. They're putting these stickers on their coffees and they're getting bombarded with 1-star reviews. So if you're looking for a local business to support, that's not Starbucks. I know, San Diego. I know. If you're looking for a local coffee shop that you would rather support, if you're in the San Diego County area, I'm not sure exactly where in San Diego this is, but Invita Cafe is doing these Thank You Charlie Kirk stickers on all of their coffee cups. So if you're looking to support a smaller business, I would highly recommend, if you're in the area, to go check that out. So I just wanted to bring that up for everybody because I just saw this as I went live, right before I went live, and I was like, oh, yes. We must support the smaller businesses. It's hard to support a small business. I was telling my fellow book readers, I'm in a book group on Facebook, and it's so hard to support small businesses nowadays for a lot of small businesses. They're not all like this, but a lot of them, because they're all just so vitriolly against everybody. Like, they put out these nasty messages and they tell people to get wrecked, and they, whatever, like the local small bookstore here in Bastrop put out a whole thing when the ice raids were going on. They redid their chalkboard. It was like fascists get scratches or whatever. It's like, okay, well, guess I'm going back to Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Thanks, guys. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. Thank you, Andrew Matthews, for the... Wait, did you do another one? No. Yeah, it hurts. You'll have to go try it if you're in the area. All right, that was, we're starting off with something lighthearted. Let me see what happens when I close this. Perfect. The other thing, speaking of coffee, I need everybody, maybe even myself included at this point, I need everybody to take a step back from the internet. I need everybody to calm down. I need everybody to relax. Okay, we need to use our critical thinking skills, and we need to calm the fuck down.
Hey chat, let's have a moment of silence for Vinny's Before LLZ. They've gone to a better place.
Before LLZ? Thank you, mate, for the $5 super chat. R.I.P. Vinny's balls. Oh, man. Oh, man. Wow. Oh my gosh. Highlander. 987 channel points. What? I don't really want to stick the balls in the mouth, but I guess whatever works for you, okay? It's fine. Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy. Where is my there we go. There we go. Now I can see how many of you guys are here. Hello. There we go. We'll be able to do kick right now because that will take too long, but we'll at least do this. There we go. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna need everybody on the right. Well, everybody in general, but the people on the right to go touch grass. We have gotten, and listen, I don't blame us. Okay, I'm not blaming. Okay, I'm not saying that we're not justified, but I need everybody to calm the hell down. I need everybody to relax. I need everybody to chill. I need everybody to just take a step back. The amount of conspiracy theories, the amount of analyzing every stupid little thing, calm down. Everybody relax. Frank Turek has come out and he has been, when the videos of Charlie's shooting first dropped, everybody was analyzing the people in the crowd. Look, this guy's brushing his nose. He's speaking in code. But oh my gosh, put the phone down. Go outside. Touch grass. Okay, this is for everybody, myself included, because I have been on TikTok entirely too much lately. I get it. Okay, but we on the right especially need to chill, or we need to calm down. I understand we're fired up. I understand we're mad. I understand that we're justified in the anger. But hot diggity dog. Okay, Spitquad is hunting. Perfect. I will take some venison meat. Thank you so much. My PO box is listed in my links. Thank you. I saw this post today and I am unhinged at this point. I can't. Wall Street Apes, which is an account, by the way, followed by Joe Rogan. Okay. Wall Street Apes posts a lot of things for engagement, but anyway. Makes this post today. My jaw literally dropped watching this. A woman goes to Starbucks and ordered the Charlie Kirk drink and gave the name Charlie for the order. The Starbucks wrote a message hidden under the sleeve mocking Charlie Kirk's murder. And then they give the location of the Starbucks in Hewitt, Texas. I'm going to play the video for you guys because this is absolutely unhinged. And not on her part. Well, no, on her part. Not on Starbucks' part. So for those of you who have not seen this yet, I've got the audio on. Here we go.
Starbucks in Hewitt, Texas on Enterprise Boulevard. I am calling out the exact Starbucks because we got the Charlie Kirk drink. I did a mobile order and I got the Mint Majesty's tea with 2 honeys. We go to the drive-thru and we're like, pick up for Charlie. We get the tea and it says, "Morning, Charlie." I was like, that's so sweet and positive. That's so nice. I was just proud that our area didn't have like the Starbuckses who are being like really rude and just really evil about the situation. But we get home and my mom was like, what is that little line? You see it? It's red. What's that little line? And so we take off the sleeve and it says, "Feel better." So here it is, "Morning, Charlie." This was from yesterday, so that's why the cup looks like that. And there's a little red line. So we take off the sleeve. "Feel better." Crazy. You know, if we told them that we were sick, we wanted some tea, that'd be different. But we did not say if we were sick or not. We did not give them any reason to write "feel better." But also, if they were writing "feel better" to be like, oh, they're probably getting tea because they're sick, why would you hide it under the sleeve? You know what I mean? So yeah, do better, Starbucks. I recommend you go do this to your local Starbucks.
I'm so tired. Chill, girl. I watched this. I was expecting it to say like, haha, or loser, or F that guy, or whatever. It said "feel better" with a smiley face. Now, I understand that we're all on edge, okay, especially after the last week and the absolute horrible, awful things that people, including Starbucks employees, okay, have said or posted or whatever over the last week. However, I need everybody to listen when I say this. This Starbucks policy of writing on the cup is new. It's been in effect for, I don't know, maybe 6 months, maybe now, maybe. It's not mandatory, but it's encouraged. It's like an unspoken rule at the new rule at the Starbucks. And what they do is they take the empty cup and they write messages. Hi, enjoy your coffee, smiley face, you're blessed, whatever on the cups, okay? Then they stack them in the order number and they go about their business. That girl, and I'm guessing it's a girl just judging by the handwriting, wrote, "Morning, Charlie, feel better," because of two reasons. One, she genuinely thought this person, Charlie, was feeling sick because for the majority of people who get tea at Starbucks, it's usually their, they call it a medicine ball. It's delicious. It's one of my favorite teas. Their medicine ball. It's a mixture of two different tea bags. Anyway, you usually get tea and honey when you've got a sore throat. Do we know this? Yes, this is very common. Okay, it's not like it's a green tea. Okay. Charlie himself did the Mint Majesty tea with 2 honeys specifically for his voice. Okay, people aren't stupid. So either this girl legitimately was like, oh, this poor Charlie person, feel better, smiley face, or she knew the drink was popular, which I think is highly likely considering it's trending all over social media right now. She knew the drink was popular and said, feel better because I know you're in mourning. Those are the only two options here. It was not hidden under the sleeve. It's written on the cup. They don't write them after they're full. I need everybody to calm down. This is insane. It is insane. It's insane to me, the absolute reaching that people are doing. This was definitely, no, it wasn't. It wasn't hidden under the cup. You can't take a full, especially of a hot tea with a full and try and turn it sideways and write on it. Are you mad? Are you insane? No. She wrote on the cup, "Morning, Charlie, feel better," put it down, filled it, put the sleeve on. Probably didn't even think anything of it. And now this poor girl and this Starbucks is going to get ripped to shreds for what? For nothing. I need everybody to calm down. You guys are driving me bonkers. I can't. They know people are mourning, says me. That was my first guess. Yeah, there's only 2 reasons for this. Feel better, smiley face. There's nothing not positive about that at all. That was my reply saying exactly what I said. Mocking someone's death, literally no. Never happened. I'm sorry, not in this case anyway. Now, there may be actual real cases where this has happened. I have yet to see one, and this might be my proof here. I've yet to see one that has actual proof of them like picking it up from the Starbucks. It's always been later. I don't know how everybody else knows this, but we all have access to freaking Sharpies. Please. But the majority of the reply is here. That's not mocking. There's this drink that someone orders when sick. There's nothing nefarious about this cup because I need everybody to relax. And here's Michael here. A mint tea with honey at Starbucks is known as a medicine ball for a reason. The people ordering it are usually sick, hence the feel better message. I need everybody to calm down. We have gotten so far insane that we are looking at every little thing now and being like, nope, that's anti this. Nope, that's anti that. Nope, that's anti this. And listen, I know that we're on edge and I get it. I get it. I get it. There's a list of 230 authors, book authors out there on social media that have outright celebrated, said something to the effect of, I'm not celebrating, but I'm not mourning either, or I'm anti-gun violence, but I'm not celebrating, or some excuse, right? There are 230 authors. Not to mention all the millions of people that posted other things, not to mention the thousands of people that have been fired from their jobs. I get it. I understand we're on edge. But we need to take a step back and think critically and just breathe. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. The more you explain it, Tuggs, the more embarrassed I am for this girl. I know. And I kind of feel bad for her, but not really. It also is, listen, it's also, she was posting in, I don't want to say good faith because that's not the right saying, but she's posting this because she knows it's going to garner attention because she knows that the right is upset right now. And she obviously leans right, or maybe not, but she knows that it's going to garner the attention. She knows it's going to go viral. She knows she's calling this, and she's on edge. We're all on edge. I'm not saying that it's not wrong to come to these conclusions, but also the fact that you're coming to them so quickly for something so simple. Let's maybe take several seats, okay? Calm down. Go to the spa, go get a massage, go to a rage room, beat it out of yourself with a bat and some glass or something. That sounded really bad, but you know what I mean. Everybody needs to calm down. Everybody needs to calm down. Everybody. Hi, Keely. Why do we have to assume the worst intentions of people immediately? I mean, listen. Snorexy, I understand where this is coming from because the worst in humans has only been done, especially this last week, right? So I get it. But at some point, we have to let our brains focus. We have to let our brains focus. Like, calm down. Highlander says, I'm also tired of people who know nothing about guns calling people snipers or grossly overestimating the damage a bullet can do. Oh my gosh, are you talking about the rifle? Where everybody's like, it was disassembled. And my favorite is the guy, I didn't even watch the whole thing. Big buff guy, I don't even know who he was. Somebody shared. Now, it was from a couple days ago before more information came out, so, but they were like, he was like, this is my rifle, and it's this big, huge rifle that's on a tripod that's got this scope that you can like shoot a deer from Alaska, so from here to Alaska, like this big, and look at how long it takes me to disassemble my rifle. I'm like, oh my, for the love of God, you don't need a Navy sniper scope. Anyway, with you, Highlander. I can't. Oh my God. Yeah, he must have been a trained professional, or he's like spit quad and he goes hunting during hunting season. It's Utah. People are hunting in Utah. Hi, Soul Assassin. I laugh whenever something happens. People suddenly become experts. I know. Oh my gosh. And this whole thing, like, and now it's of course come out that he never that the shooter never disassembled the gun. That he actually just yeeted himself off the roof holding it, like you could see it, and it was tossed in the woods or whatever. But at the time, right? Well, this is my giant, huge, like rifle with a scope. Literally, this scope was like this big on this guy. I don't even know who it was. I don't even know where to find the post again. And there's no way that he disassembled that and blah blah. I'm like, just because somebody knows how to use their weapon does not make them a trained professional, military trained Navy sniper, Chris Kyle type of dude. Like, what are you guys talking about? Simmer down. It's a bolt action 30-06. You can get that from Walmart. And all you got to do is know how to use it. In Utah, especially Utah, Montana, Idaho, parts of Washington, Colorado, you got people hunt out there. If he knows how to, he's obviously raised to know the gun. He's got more conservative leaning parents, so I'm sure they taught him how to use it. It's his grandfather's weapon. Of course he's going to know how to hit a target that he's aiming for. Can we please focus? What? He's not a trained professional. He just knows what he's doing. I can't. I'm with you, Highlander. I'm with you. Alan Rich isn't. No, it wasn't him, but it was some influencer, like gun guy on TikTok or something. I don't even know who it was. I didn't recognize him. I have no idea who he was, but he was like, roar. When people say they could make an easy shot at 500 yards, windage starts becoming an issue at 300. Yeah. Listen, I'm not even that fancy. I don't know how to do it. I couldn't hit the broadside of the barn with that. Okay. I mean, I might be better at it than a handgun. That's a small area. Anyway, we're not going to get into the nitty gritties, but again, go outside, touch grass. As much as I love true crime and like analyzing crime and hearing the evidence and having a discuss about it, I am not a detective. I'm not an investigator. I was not there. I am not a professional. Maybe we just wait and see what happens. Okay. Speaking of people who cannot wait to see what happens, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. The fuck? I'm not even, mostly this is going to be focused on Candace because I binged her last few podcast episodes this last few days. Bye, Dave. Have a good one. This last couple days I've been listening to Candace Owens' podcast, and the woman is unhinged. But we'll get there. Firstly, we're going to start with Tucker Carlson. I've not seen this clip yet. I've seen other clips. I don't think I've seen this one. But we're going to talk about how disgusting this all is at the end of all this. We'll get there. Bear with me. Here we go. Shadow of Ezra on the 16th. So just a couple days ago. Hello. Hey there. Oh. Said Tucker Carlson reveals that Charlie told him many times in private that he did not like Benjamin Netanyahu. Sorry, Ben. Sorry, BB. I don't know how Netanyahu. I think I got that right. He says Kirk saw Netanyahu as a destructive force and was horrified by the children. Blah blah blah. Okay. We're gonna watch. It's a minute long. We'll watch what Tucker says, and then we'll read Ted Cruz's reply, and then we're gonna dive into. Everybody needs to shut up. I'm so done.
He did not like Bibi Netanyahu, and he said that to me many times, and he said to people around him many times. He felt that Bibi Netanyahu was a very destructive force. He was appalled by what was happening in Gaza. He was, above all...
It's raining. Thanks, Jesus. Rensky, I missed your question. I'm so sorry. What was your question? Repeat question again. Oh, wait. Maybe I can scroll up. Hold on. Let's see if I can see it. No, I don't. I don't see it. All right. Ask me again, Rensky. I'm so sorry. All right. Anyway.
Resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars for the benefit of his country, and that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States, and he resented it. Didn't hate Netanyahu. He wasn't out there with a placard saying that, but he certainly expressed that to me and a lot of other people. And there's no question that Bibi's defenders on the internet will call me a liar or a kook, but that's a fact. And enough text messages exist that I think it can probably be verified in pretty short order. Not that it needs to be, because that is true. Shortly after that speech, there was a very intense attack on Charlie, and to some extent on me, not that I really noticed. But on him, I have no donors. He had $100 million worth of donors. And so, because he was involved in a different project from just yapping on the internet, which is what I do for a living, he was dependent to a great extent on his donors, of course. It's a nonprofit. And they went after him and tormented him. Not all, of course. Many were supportive, but the ones who were offended by my speech, and there was a small, very intense group who were, tormented Charlie Kirk until the day he died.
Okay. Tormented Charlie Kirk until the day he died. We'll hear something similar from Candace Owens here in a minute. I'm hot. I'm heated on her. I'm heated on all these people, to be honest, but that's a whole nother thing. Ted Cruz responded to Tucker's rant. Tucker also, along with Owens, which again we'll get into, immediately was like, so Israel was behind this, right? We're clear on that. Oh my God. Anyway, Ted Cruz says, I'm getting really tired of Tucker and his cronies falsely claiming that Charlie agreed with me that Israel's terrible and the problem in America is all the dang Jews. I knew Charlie well, and indeed the very last conversation we had was how deeply concerned he was about the rising toxic wave of anti-Semitism on the right. We're playing now a he said, she said game. It's a he said, she said. We are now taking, I don't know why Tucker and Candace Owens specifically these last few days have conveniently forgotten that Charlie's own words are online, what he's been talking about. Everybody knows that Charlie is pro-Israel. Now, whether or not he's pro the government, but he is not anti the Jewish people. He's not anti-Israel. He goes to Israel multiple times. He's walked in the footsteps of Jesus. He's done all of these things. So I don't know why all of a sudden we're like, no, he hated the man. He hated the man. He hated the man. He's never come out and outright been like, no, I hate that guy, right? It's been like, I don't know what's going on. So on top of the right's now just jumping to every conclusion ever on Starbucks, and we now have Tucker running his mouth. And then we have Candace, the other day, and I watched all these videos. This is all everything this is all true. These are taken directly from her videos. She's probably going to come for me. I hope not. She doesn't know who I am. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I don't care.
Was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to mass. One of my last conversations with Charlie was me joking with him saying, just make the last step, okay? You are, I said specifically, you're too smart to be a Protestant. Just take the last step, Charlie. He says, ha ha. He was speaking about Mary, was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to mass. one of my last conversations.
Oh, anyway. My most insulting thing about this entire statement was her being like, you are too smart to be a Protestant. First of all, the audacity of you to insult other Christians, other God-fearing people that way, like, where do you come off? So this went viral on the 15th. This was her first video. This went viral. This person said, Candace Owens' claim that Charlie was too smart to be a Protestant and on the verge of Catholic conversion is both speculative and misleading. This is a video. This is a couple months ago. This video is him talking about Catholicism and Jesus Christ.
I would not be able to enter into a faith that believes that anybody except Jesus Christ our Lord was without sin. And that's my final comment on Mariology. Happy to debate it. But I personally would not be able.
That's where he stood, at least on his show. Here's what gets me, is she's saying all this stuff, and she says more. I'm heated. She's saying all of these things. He's going to mass. He's praying the rosary. He's converting to Catholicism. The way she says it, by the way, not just like you're too smart to be a Protestant. Just give in. Just go all the way. Like, what are you recruiting for a cult? Weird. But here's video of Charlie the day he died. Talking about how he identifies in his religion.
Everything I say, everybody, I'm an evangelical Christian. Everything I say, everybody, I'm an evangelical Christian. Everything I say, everybody, I'm an evangelical Christian. Everything I say.
It's just the same clip over and over again. The day his life was taken from us, I'm an evangelical Christian. I don't know what Candace is smoking. I understand she's grieving and she's pissed. But girl, you need to calm down. You need to calm down, girl. You need to relax. Hi, Davina. We are feeling much better. Engagement farming. Hi, Tyler. Welcome in. Thank you guys for being here. We're on a rant. Jonathan says, I'm a Protestant. F her. Yeah, where do you get the audacity? First of all. So there's a clip of him that day talking about how he is an evangelical Christian. And that was what he was saying the whole time. Sure, he may have gone to mass with his Catholic friends. Sure. And here's the full clip of what we watched earlier. On July 22nd of 2025, 2 months before his assassination, Charlie shared his thoughts on Catholicism. And here we go. It's shocking to me that people are putting words in this man's mouth, especially somebody like Candace, who claims to be his bestie for the resties. Oh, we'll get there.
Actually hit on one of my major concerns of Catholicism. And I mean, look, I love Catholics. You know, as people know, I'm very close to even my local Catholic priest, Father Klein, great guy. My wife was baptized Catholic, but I have some big disagreements with Catholicism. And the first of which would be Mariology. But let me first say, I think we as Protestant evangelicals under-venerate Mary. She was very important. She was a vessel for our Lord and Savior. She is a phenomenal example, and I think a counter to so much of the toxicity of feminism in the modern era. However, I would say Catholicism goes way too far. Catholicism believes two things as dogma, and most Catholics, if you ask them this, some don't even know. Number one, do you believe that Mary was sinless? The Catholic Church does. There is no biblical basis for this, the only of which would be that Mary was full of grace in the Annunciation of Mary in Luke 1. That is a big stretch. By the way, that was not even added into official Catholic dogma till the mid-1800s. The second of which which is called the Immaculate Conception. There's a second form of Catholic dogma that believes that Mary was assumed into heaven, that her physical body was actually the Assumption of Mary, was assumed into heaven. Again, that is a pure faith claim. It is not biblically supported at all whatsoever. So I think that we as evangelicals can do a better job of remembering, studying, talking about, and pointing towards Mary, because she was a vessel chosen by God Almighty that brought our Lord into this world. But I find biblical evidence to the opposite. I find biblical evidence to show that Mary was sinful like all the rest of us. In fact, I see biblical evidence that it says very clear, I think, in the book of Romans, that No one is sinless except Christ Jesus. This is not a major issue for me between me getting along with Catholics, me loving Catholics, me thinking that Catholics are doing a great job for the planet or for the world. But I personally would not be able to enter into a faith that believes that anybody except Jesus Christ our Lord was without sin. And that's my final comment on Mariology. Happy to debate it with others if that ever surfaces. So.
This is circling back to where I started this episode with the whole Starbucks video that I played. Everybody on the right needs to fucking chill. I don't know what is going on, but splitting hairs as a follower of God, and then, the Jewish faith as a follower of God, but then they deviated Jesus, the evangelicals, the Protestants, the whoever are part of the Christianity branch. I don't care. What I care about is people putting words into this man's mouth and claiming to be their best friend at the same time. This was literally 2 months ago. The day that he was taken from us, he flat out was like, I'm an evangelical Christian. Now, I'm sure there's more to that statement. It was just a thing on loop on replay. But every single time he has been asked for the last 10 years that he's been doing this, he has not wavered once. Okay. Now, the Erica Kirk thing, I didn't get a chance to look into that. I know she was baptized. He said that she was baptized Catholic. I don't know that a Catholic and an evangelical could work as a relationship, but I'm not going to judge that because obviously they had an amazing relationship. They were soulmates. I have seen people post that no, she has said that she's not practicing Catholic. She just was baptized Catholic. I don't know where that is. I didn't get a chance to do that research. That's a topic for another time. At the end of the day, it's none of our business. All I'm going to use is his words, which is right there. I have a problem with this faith because of these reasons. I don't dislike Catholics. We're on the same branch of the same tree, or on different branches of the same tree, but I'm an evangelical. I'm a Protestant. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm a lot. It's crazy. Thank you for the reads. You're welcome, Mars. Can't stand Candace Owens. Yeah, apparently I haven't watched her in forever, to be honest. And that's that on that. I wish I had the original video. Do I have the original video? I didn't get it. All right, I have this backwards. So that's the number one thing that has been going around with the right. We're a mess. Infighting in ourselves is absolutely bonkers ridiculous. But anyway, so that same video clip I posted of you. Oh, here it is. This is the same video. This is the very first video Miss Owens did after everything that went down. I think it came out on Monday, somewhere around there. Doesn't matter. The 15th. There we go. 15th. So 3 days ago. This is her first video. So that same video where she's talking about Charlie converting to Catholicism and that nobody knew him and I knew him and Protestant, blah, 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 blah. She also said this.
More than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset and threats were made. That is what I am told. And I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you. And he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I've been in these situations before. When
I'm
I
sure.
started asking very sensible questions about Israel, as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting Israel, many times alongside Charlie Kirk, I was met with the very same pressure. And just like Charlie was being invited to Israel, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. You know, I got to tell you that. It felt like a threat, like not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. A ton of money. Maybe would fund it, you know, spend tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. It's solid.
This is a 6-minute thing, so we're just going to kind of skip through. You guys can go watch this if you want. Each episode that she's posted the last few days is like an hour long. Oh, no. That's what I get.
Charlie said no to Bibi. Okay. Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened, because our sources and what we have, it's solid. Okay. There were conversations that took place, messages that were sent at that time, and they are solid. So I decided another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there. If you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon, I was going to go out to Seth Dillon, and I decided to message him last night about this Hamptons meeting. And Seth Dillon, who is normally very quick with a response, has not yet been able to respond. I'll show you this text message chain. And I want to be clear, I am not someone who normally publicizes text messages.
Oh, sure.
But my friend was shot in the neck. And I'm just not really in the state right now to be polite when it comes to the answers that I am demanding, okay? This is me out to Seth Dillon last night. I sent him Bill Ackman's tweet because, you know, he tweeted, I feel incredibly privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk this summer. He was a giant of a man. I said, any comment on this one, Seth? He didn't answer last night.
Now, Seth Dillon, I don't know who Bill Ackman is, so if anybody in the chat knows who he is specifically, I'm not familiar with him. Seth Dillon, if I remember right, is the creator of Babylon Bee. I think he created Babylon Bee, or he works there. Something to do with Babylon Bee. Did Ben Shapiro replace Charlie? I doubt that. Erica Kirk is now on their board. But I doubt he will, but I could be wrong. When Mar says, when God talks about Israel in most of the Bible, he means his people, not the land. Yes, the government. Yeah. Yep. Andrew Matthews, Candace, someone I died. No, died. Look at me. Yeah, exactly. She's so catty. I know. Okay, it gets worse, you guys. It gets worse.
This morning I said, need a comment ASAP, please. He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, trying again here, you were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel and Charlie refused. Text messages immediately following this meeting are circulating. I find Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his, and I presume your, final meeting with Charlie Kirk? ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turning Point USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but I also went out to 2 other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial.
What gets me here is she's like, Turning Point USA, it's like all these people are reaching out to Turning Point USA to cry. How do you know that? You were fired from Turning Point USA 5 years ago. Why do you know what's going on in Turning Point USA? But anyway.
But no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. So I will again put it out there, Seth, Bill Ackman, and to the other individuals who I have not yet named, but who are going to be named later this week.
Sure.
who were at the Hamptons when Charlie was put under pressure, when Bibi Netanyahu called him and invited him to Israel, again, in a move that when it happened to me, and it wasn't Bibi Netanyahu, felt to me like a laced threat. I am inviting you guys, I will give you my platform, actually, to come clear matters up, to tell us what really happened.
So that's the video. That's just a 7-minute snippet of an absolutely unhinged rant. That is mostly about herself, if you guys noticed. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, so this entirely long is very long. We're going to go through it as fast as I can. Bill Ackman responded. This afternoon, Candace Owens slandered me by accusing me of staging an intervention with Charlie Kirk in which threats were made with respect to his supposed evolving stance on Israel at an event I hosted in the Hamptons. Candace also intimated that I blackmailed Charlie. On the show, Candace said that she would be very happy for me to dispute this narrative. While it pains me to drive more traffic to her program, I am responding here to clear my name. It saddens me that we live in a society where social media influencers seek to monetize the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. For the record, at no time have I ever threatened Charlie Kirk, Turning Point, or anyone associated with him. I have never blackmailed anyone, let alone Charlie. I have never offered Charlie or Turning Point any money in an attempt to influence Charlie's opinion on anything. In fact, my interactions with Charlie have been extremely cordial, albeit limited, regretfully so, as I was very impressed by him and his work, and I will sadly never see him again. In an effort to clear the record, I share the following. I have followed Charlie on X for some time and greatly admired him. While I didn't agree with Charlie on every issue, I had enormous respect for his intelligence, vast knowledge about religion, and his willingness to take on all comers in open mic sessions on campus and otherwise. Periodically, I would repost some of his posts and video clips. I connected with Charlie when he DM'd me in late May of this year and expressed interest in meeting me. In light of our respective schedules, we were unable to find a time to meet in person, so we scheduled a Zoom on June 11th. On the Zoom, he explained to me that conservatives, in particular young conservatives, are getting tired of defending Israel, and this was very concerning to him. I asked him how I could learn more, and he suggested that it might be useful to convene a group of young conservative influencers on a host of topics that could include Israel to get a better sense of how the conservative community was thinking about Israel and other relevant issues of concern to young people. On the Zoom, Charlie also said that his open mic conversations on campus were very effective in addressing issues on the minds of students, but he was only one person with limited bandwidth. He suggested that recruiting a group of junior Charlie Kirks who could host open mic sessions on college campuses would be an effective way to encourage debate on a host of issues, an approach he believed to be worthy of consideration. The irony here is now this is what's happening all over this country. I expressed interest in learning more, and we thereafter scheduled a series of conference calls and Zooms with Charlie, Turning Point staff, and members of my team in an effort to assemble a diverse group of influencers who we could convene for a day-and-a-half session. In addition to getting a better sense of what and where young conservatives were on various issues, Charlie thought doing so might enable him to identify potential candidates who could launch their own campus tours and carry forth his approach. We chose the afternoon of August 4th to the afternoon of the 5th for the convening, and Charlie and members of my team worked to put together an invitation list. I offered to host the sessions in Bridgehampton and cover the costs so that I could attend some of the sessions as I was working from there at the time. Charlie sent out the invitations and about 35 or so influencers accepted. Charlie estimated that the influencers who attended collectively had more than 100 million followers. Agenda meetings, blibbity blah, blibbity blah. There were meals, there was a luncheon. This guy footed the bill for everything. We corresponded at the end of the event, I sat with Charlie and members of my team and we discussed the events of the convening. Charlie believed that he had identified a number of potential Turning Point ambassadors who could launch open mic events on campus and that he would follow up with them. We agreed to keep in touch thereafter. So that's response number 1 from Bill Ackman. Response number 2 from Bill Ackman. For clarification purposes, a few facts, corrections, and receipts to dispel some misinformation going around on social media. Because, of course, right, he said, she said, right? Candace is putting out these things and is like, F the Jews, F this. This guy's lying. This guy's trying to corrupt my bestie, Charlie. This, that, and the blah, blah, blah. Right? So it's all blowing up. It's going crazy. Wait, what? My best friend's sister's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows this kid who's going with the girl who saw Charlie pass out at 31. Exactly, holocron. It gets so much worse. Oh, I'm hated. Anyway, The TPU, this is from Bill Ackman clarifying some things. The TPUSA, hi, Corey.
Hey Tuggs, my 95-year-old grandmother is amazing. She still doesn't use glasses. She drinks straight from the bottle.
Yes, a queen. Your 95-year-old grandma is. Thank you, Corey. The Turning Point USA Hamptons event was not held at my house, but rather at a hotel in Bridgehampton. As I previously explained, I did cover the cost of the event, i.e. travel, food, and lodging for the participants. This was not a secret event, and no one signed an NDA. Everyone, including the Turning Point representatives who attended, are totally free to share whatever they want about what took place and what was discussed. This was not a Chatham House Rules event. Some have already publicly shared their experiences and perspectives on the convening. In the spirit of transparency, I encourage any of the other attendees that have not already shared their thoughts on the event to do so. That said, I understand why some may not want to do so because of the fear of getting attacked by the mob who assumed that something untoward took place. I'm sure there are some Israel supporters of TPUSA who became upset with Charlie because he told me so. He complained to me that some pro-Israel advocates view any criticism of Israel as anti-Semitic, and we both agreed that this is wrong. Which I totally believe, and I agree. I did not complain to Charlie about Tucker Carlson's criticism of me at TPUSA. I did ask him why he thought Tucker attacked me, and he told me that he did not know why. He told me that he thought my statement in response to Tucker was a great one. It could be found here, and he links to the tweet. I have been reluctant to post private text, but in an effort to put this whole thing to bed, I share the following brief exchange with Charlie. When reading this text exchange, ask yourself whether Charlie sounds like someone who I threatened, blackmailed, and or was the subject of an intervention about Israel or otherwise. Lastly, I totally understand the shock and distress that all who knew or followed Charlie Kirk are feeling after his untimely and tragic death. Excuse me. But let's not let those emotions cause us to construct conspiracy theories that can cause innocent people serious and potentially deadly harm. Amen. And then he does a screenshot. There's no date on this. Guy needs to charge his phone. Charlie sent him a message that says, "How are you?" This guy responds with, "I'm doing great. Really enjoyed our time together last week. Thank you again for doing that. It was great," Charlie says, "and great to get to know you better. We should do dinner sometime with the ladies." Absolutely, that would be awesome. Let me know when you will be in New York City and we will have you over. Thank you, I will. We are there a few times this fall. Great, just let me know. Now, to me, listen, I don't know Charlie personally, obviously, but to me, if the man was under distress, we would not say things like, "We should do dinner sometime with the ladies next time in New York. Next time you're in New York, come join me," right? No, you would just be a, "Hey, thank you so much for footing the bill or for putting that on for me. I really appreciate it. I think we broke some ground," right? It would be a way more professional situation, would be the way I would have handled it, if at all. Looks like Charlie reached out to him first. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. And then this is the rest of the text message. Oh, it was August 15th. There we go. We have a date now. Look at this guy being totally transparent. Here's a chart of rental affordability superior to mortgage affordability. Those numbers are dramatic. Query whether in our new economy, whether home ownership makes sense. Will people want to have more flexibility to move on, etc.? And that was a thumbs up. How are you? There's a whole text. To me, that doesn't sound like anybody being scared off, but I'm not a professional. If that was me, I would have probably responded with more professional answers and not, "Hey, let me know when you're going to be in NYC. Let's do dinner with the gals," right? No, I would not have said that. If somebody made me feel uncomfortable. Hello? Anyway, y'all, it gets bad. Hold on. I can't. So we have an influencer here, Xavier DeRusso. No idea. Don't look at me. I have no idea who this guy is. Clearing the air regarding the Hamptons trip with Charlie and Bill Ackman. What is true? Yes, dozens of influencers, including myself, were invited to an event by Charlie and his team, not by Bill Ackman. Charlie wanted to get to know rising conservative voices and where we stood on various issues. Number 2, the subject matters were primarily about the following topics: Islam's growing presence in the West, marriage and dating, Ma'am Donnie, right-wing infighting, ironically what's going on right now, the economy, and various narratives regarding Israel. 3, Charlie wanted to see us respectfully debate him and each other. There was a range of views there on every topic. He wanted to learn our perspectives and analyzed our debating skills from an objective point of view, right? Because if you're going to be an ambassador for TPUSA and be a baby Charlie Kirk, you got to learn to talk. I could never. I'll run it from the sidelines. I'll throw out hats and stuff. I'll help you. But I'm not that good at speaking, you know? He started each topic with a provocative statement to encourage the creators to debate. An example, one of the topics he started by saying, this is a rough quote, if I were to post right now, Bibi Netanyahu needs to resign, what would be the reaction? This, of course, led to a number of responses. Someone said that the post would indirectly empower Hamas, and Charlie responded that her statement was, quote, moral blackmail, and that if she wants to debate the topic of Israel, she needs to work on using more facts and less emotion. Very true. If you're going to be an ambassador for Turning Point, if Charlie's going to do this and have not just him do all these campus events, you can't let your emotions get the better of you, right? The conversations with Charlie were less about what to believe. It was about how we express it if we want to truly make an impact, how to debate, how to speak. Number 4, Bill and Charlie never debated or argued. I don't know where that narrative came from. If it happened, it certainly wasn't around any of us. Bill mostly spoke about marriage and economics, then chilled with us. Number 5, I'm not going to pretend to know every thought of Charlie's, but he very much stood with Israel. His frustrations expressed during the Hamptons event were that many people debated the topic emotionally rather than logically. Mind you, this was a small portion of the event. I don't know about this last part. Max Blumenthal has nothing to do with what we were talking about, Candace, so I'm not even going to read it. Lastly, nothing about the Hamptons trip from the point of view of the creators was an intervention, quote, end quote. Charlie designed the event and led it as a chance to listen to all of us and spark conversation in a way only he could. We were encouraged to keep using our voices and fight for what we believe in, regardless of where we fell on various issues. That's exactly who Charlie was, and my last memories with him in the Hamptons are something I'll always cherish. I don't know who Max Blumenthal is, so if somebody does, this first response here from this Mike Anderson guy says that the fact Max Blumenthal is in this story tells me all I need to know. Thank you for that tidbit. Candace needs to ask herself why she and Max are on the same side here. No idea who that is. So now we have 2 people, one being an influencer, debunking everything that just came out of Candace's mouth. Seth Dillon, our favorite Babylon Bee. On July 8th, I got a text from Charlie inviting me to an influencer retreat. The theme was Save the West. I told him I was available and would see him there. Very little information was provided, but it was a Turning Point event spearheaded by Charlie, so I assumed, correctly, that there would be some good people and a great program. The retreat took place in the Hamptons on August 4th and 5th. At least 30 people attended. I only knew a handful of them personally. An itinerary was provided when we arrived. There were meals and themed sessions covering topics like American identity, immigration, economics, and foreign policy. Charlie stood at the front of the room. He would speak a little, then open the floor for discussion. He drove the discussion with challenging questions, and there was spirited debate. If there were private meetings that took place, I was not in them. If there were angry confrontations, threats, or coercion, I did not witness or hear about any of it. Should evidence of such things come to light, it will be news to me. Now, remember, there's only 30 sounds like a lot, but it's not that much comparatively, right? There's no NDAs being signed. These guys could have taken pictures. They probably did. Exchange phone numbers. Were talking to each other. It's like-minded people in the same room, you know, not on everything, but generally like-minded people. Like, of course, they're going to be around each other a lot. It's only 30 people. One concern Charlie raised, which I believe he also raised publicly, was about free speech. He felt that criticism of Israel was so discouraged, so penalized, that we aren't really free to voice it. Some in the room agreed with him. I argued that while it can come at a cost in certain contexts, it also pays pretty handsomely in others. There are people who have generated massive audiences and engagement by doing little other than criticizing Israel and the Jews. I pointed out that in my case, it was criticizing the critics that had come at a high cost. Prominent figures on the right now have me in their crosshairs as an enemy who must be destroyed. I'm in a position where I feel the need to write this post and clear my name of any wrongdoing is only further evidence of this. After the retreat, I sent Charlie a text to let him know it meant a lot that he wanted me there. He replied, "Of course, I'm here for you." I responded, "Same." He then shared a verse from scripture that has been on my mind ever since his senseless murder. Psalm 46:1, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. I did not organize or participate in an intervention with Charlie. I was there at his personal request. I did not coerce him or threaten him or pressure him or witness anyone else do any of these things. We spent 2 days hearing from our friend both his concerns and his wisdom, and he took time to listen, encourage, each of us. He welcomed our feedback and debate. I also didn't place any calls to try and stop anything from being published or publicized. On the contrary, Charlie's team reached out to me yesterday, told me not to respond to any inquiries about the retreat because they were being made in bad faith. They said these people have no good intentions during a time while we mourn our friend. They also apologized to me that I was being dragged into this and said that they were doing what they could to put false rumors and allegations to rest. I thanked them and told them I was sorry they were having to deal with it too. I'm sick with grief, etc., 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 blah, 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 blah. And then here, because now we're at a point where we have to release screenshots of our text messages. It's ridiculous. Look, July 8th. Hey, August 4th and 5th. Charlie says, can you join us for influencer retreat in the Hamptons? Yeah, says Seth. Send me details. And Charlie just sends him this beautiful, like, invitation. Save the West Leader Retreat. Invitation only. Bridgehampton, New York. I can be there. It meant a lot to me that you wanted me there, says Seth. Days later. Months later. Glad I could offer my perspective. Of course, I'm here for you. Same. Psalm 46:1 on August 6th at 8:40 a.m. Did this stop, Candace? Bye, Highlander. I don't know who Max Blumenthal is. Oh, owner of Gray Zone. I don't know what that is either, but okay. That's a little bit more context. Dylan Erickson texted Seth and said, you've been thoughts in my prayers this week, as I know it's been a hard week for all of us. I'm reaching out as we are hearing that there's reporters and influential figures looking for information about the Hamptons and have reached out to several people already. These people have no good intentions during a time while we mourn our friend. Please do not respond or make comment, and please send me any screenshots of messages you have received about this. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you during this time. Now, Dylan Erickson, we'll Google it real. I think he's the Turning Point, like, co-guy. I don't know his exact title. Oh, he's staff. Okay. His staff guy, Dylan Anderson. Maybe their social media guy. It doesn't matter. So Candace posts this shit about the Catholic stuff. Then she posts this shit about Charlie being coerced and he was in fear for his life and all of this drama. Yes, Andrew, his pastor, Rob McCoy, has come out and been like, girl, stop running your mouth, kind of thing. Mate says, so wait, Charlie was inviting people to his own intervention? Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that weird? That's weird. I don't know. So that was over the last couple days. Now, she has posted 3 videos total. This is the one that was dropped yesterday, a live stream yesterday. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Obviously, it's an hour and I can't listen to it again. But she goes through here. It's titled, Who Ordered the Hit on Charlie? She goes through all the evidence. She goes through all the text messages that the feds have released. And I want you guys to hear this for yourselves because maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Give me your honest opinions. I might be insane. But the entitlement is what got me here. Okay? Here we go.
Probably not a good idea to be friends with these people, but whatever. He's been a friend of the Fed. Surely this is a big issue. And to put to rest any conspiracies, you're going to show us that drone footage and we're going to see the Dodge Challenger just sitting there for hours and hours and hours. And we're maybe even going to be able to see, because I'm sure at that point, like cops maybe set up some barricades or something to see he was going in and out. And then he decides he's going to leave. Show us the footage. Like I said, every inch of that campus is covered. So we should be able to see he's wearing maroon. And you're telling us that he went back to his car and he changed. Show us him leaving campus before he returns back to campus around 11:30. Just show us the footage, okay? I'm demanding it. You know why? Because I need to be able to fit things into my timeline, if that's okay with you. So I would discern that we are looking, just vibe again, 2 different people would be my thing.
Anyway. I am demanding that footage so that I can fit it into my timeline. I heard that today and I had to go outside and take a breath. I don't know how to put this eloquently because I'm not a debater, I'm not a speaker. The fucking audacity. Ma'am, your entitlement. Excuse me? First of all, this is an open, active investigation. I'm not saying we can't be like, wow, these text messages are written really weirdly for Gen Z 21-year-olds. Okay? I'm not saying that you can't, like, this sounds weird. I'm not saying that at all. However, this investigation is open. This investigation is worldwide news. Internationally, there are vigils being held for this man. There are fights in the streets. There are whatever. Not riots, but like people going back and forth at each other. You have 230 best-selling authors running their mouths, okay, because of all this. And you think that you are entitled, that any of us are entitled for footage that they're going to be showing in court? The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly, sorry to curse. What is wrong with you? Can you imagine if she or any of us get this footage? I demand this drone footage. Okay, so you get it. Well, then what? It goes on your channel, which has millions. This thing has 3.4 million views on it, this live stream. Okay, that's 3.4 million people that are now biased in a court of law. I'm not saying that the man doesn't deserve his just dues because he's a crack nut, but he still has a right to a fair trial. And to find a jury that is not impartial at this point is going to be nigh impossible. And you want them to show you an exact timeline and show you exact footage of what they have that they're going to bring to the prosecution? Are you out of your goddamn mind? You've completely lost your mind. Completely lost it, girly. And everybody that is agreeing with this has lost their mind. I'm not saying don't question things, okay? Yeah, it's kind of a weird text exchange between 21-year-olds. Okay, maybe they were playing a role. That's documented in a lot of cases for killers, where they get themselves into a separate mindset, they speak differently, they walk differently, right? So maybe that's the case. I don't know. I'm not there, and I'm also not privy, because I'm not a federal investigator. I am not privy to that information, and neither are you. Sit down. Oh my. Anyway, I heard that. I was like, I need to go outside. I don't know. Am I crazy? What do you guys think? What are you thinking? Let me see. Mars says, agree, Tuggs, we'll find out what we need to do during the trial. Nick says she's trying to come across as though she is the authority on this subject with that language. Yes. I'm sorry. Who are you? Are you the director of the FBI? Are you the president of the United States? Are you the end all be all in crime? I'm sorry, what? No, but she's Charlie's bestie, which I also don't believe, but we'll get that in a second. People are walking all over his grave. I know. The gall. I know. I was like, oh, girl. And then I had this, but I think I'm gonna see if I can find it so we don't have to watch the TikTok. So this goes on. She shows the Tucker Carlson thing. I mean, this is the vibe that I just showed you of that clip is the vibe of this entire episode. If you're bored one day, have at it. But I think it was here.
Out 4 or 5 cameras on that day. I'm not going to publish the footage, but I want to see it with my own 2 eyes so I can stand on this platform, so I can sit here on this platform and I can say to the world, no funny business happened. Truly, we can all go home. It was Tyler Robinson. Business happened. I'm not going to publish the footage, but I want to.
I'm not going to publish the footage if the FBI gives it to me. I'm not going to publish it, but I'm going to talk about it, about what I've seen. And you need to believe me. You need to believe me.
See it with my own 2 eyes so I can stand on this platform, so I can sit here on this platform and I can say to the world, no funny business happened. Truly, we can all go home. It was Tyler Robinson and he acted alone and there was nobody else there. And this kid just, I guess, after having a life where he didn't bother anybody, just woke up one day and chose violence and then decided to explain every layer of what he had done that day via text messages.
Here's my thing about that part. No violence at all whatsoever, but he just decided one day, no history of anything, he just decided one day to choose violence. Is that not what radicalized means, Candace? Anybody in the chat? Anyone? Is that not what radicalized means? Do you know how many serial killers didn't have a history of violence? Maybe little things like, oh, they set my curtains on fire again, right? Before we knew that that was a pattern in that mind, they were doing little things, right? Little weird stuff. It's, just boys being boys or whatever, okay? What? He didn't have a history of anything, and then one day he snapped. That's what radicalized means, Candace. That's the very definition of radicalized. The boy was radicalized. By who? I don't know. Throw a target. Who knows? Ugh. It's her attempt to insert herself into something she doesn't belong in. Oh, yeah, don't get me started. So she just expects us to just believe her. Yes, Mongoose. Yep, she does. Andrew Matthews says the boyfriend and the family and FBI and the president and the vice president think he did it, and lots of evidence says he did it, but Candace comes first. Yeah, Candace says no. I'm not saying we can't question some things, okay? Because, all right, it's all jumbled. I imagine more will come out. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. The another thing she rants about, and I don't know if any of you have read the court documents. I could pull them up if you want. But the indictment papers, they post the whole text messages in the indictment papers, and there's no timestamp on them. So she really went on a whole rant about that earlier. And while I think it's weird, these indictment papers were released to the public, so they're going to have stuff, maybe not blacked out, but they are going to have stuff removed that maybe we might not notice. So it's very possible those timestamps were whited out, so that evidence, again, because they're going to go to trial, wasn't on the paperwork because they knew they were going to have to release it all over the media. 2, you don't need timestamps to read those text messages. Okay, those text messages literally start with the kid saying, look under the keyboard. And the note says, I had a chance to take him out and I did. And the boyfriend goes, did you do it? And he goes, yeah, I'm waiting for the cops to leave so I could get my gun. I think we could maybe logically think about when this timeline is of these text messages. I mean, I don't know. Just reading it and the fact that he's like, dude, bro, there's cops everywhere. And I left my rifle like an idiot. I left my rifle. I have to go get it. I think that maybe the timeline there is probably after the shooting happened, but what do I know? I don't know. I don't know. Jose says, where did her hate for Jewish people come from all of a sudden? But I'm going to blame Ben Shapiro for that one. She and Ben Shapiro had a really big falling out. I'm going to need her to get over it. Okay. But that's a whole nother thing. Tyler says, I'm going to sound like a tard, but I think he thought he took out Charlie, but someone else did the pew-pewing. I watched the military sniper says he couldn't have made that pew. Someone in the crowd did it. Someone in the crowd. That's a new one on me. Interesting. Yeah, the old guy being the decoy he may not have acted alone. Okay, I will buy that. I will 100% buy that. He might have run his mouth in a Discord or something somewhere and it was like, oh, he's coming to Utah. If I was going to do it, I'd do it today. Blah, 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 whatever, right? And then somebody was like, oh, I'm going to go to that and I'm going to back him up. I could totally see that happening. We don't know that that's what happened. I don't know if we'll ever know, except maybe when the trial comes. Maybe. I don't know. But there's all these things. You're jumping to conclusions, right? We could debate about it, but she's demanding these answers and demanding this footage and demanding this, and everything is suspicious of, oh my gosh, girl, go outside. You need to deal with your grief in other ways. You're losing it, girly pants. Losing it. Anyway.
I want to be able to look people in the eye honestly and say that, so I want to see all of this footage. So I am working to get to the bottom of it. Okay, I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories floating in about the security guard and people thinking he was making gestures. I know that security person. He's a good guy. It would shock me. I usually get a vibe about somebody. Not that guy. Not the guy that they say he's like rolling up. He tends to do that, roll up his sleeves. I don't buy that one. Okay, I don't buy that one. And but here's the thing. That's my gut. My gut has led me in the right way. I want you guys to know that once I look at all the footage from every angle, if I'm putting in this formal request and they said they would speak to the lawyers, I think the world will trust me to say there was no funny business and this is exactly what happened. So I
love that she's like, I'm the one that needs to get this information. Not anybody else, just her. Just only her is allowed to watch this footage so that she could come on and monetize her YouTube channel and say, yep, this is all true. I was wrong, blah, blah, blah.
Put in that request, and I want you guys to know that. And I mean business. I'm getting to the bottom of this. And lastly, I want to say to this like new flex Operation Mocking Pastor, regarding which, by the way, the first time they went after Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, a source told me, and I would love to get this confirmed, I'm going to find this out, that $150 million was spent on that, and it came from Bibi Netanyahu. I would like to figure out if that's true. But anyways, obviously investigating this, and I'm not going to let it go, okay? You're not going to emotionally use some jujitsu, and I'm referring here to Roy or Rob McCoy, who says, I'm Charlie's pastor, and here's the truth.
Here's the other thing that gets me. These entire 3 episodes, and I know this because I binged them, my brain. These entire 3 episodes, everything she says is source. I have a source. I have someone on the inside. A source has told me, a source did this, a source did that, a source, a source, a source, a source. Okay. But we're supposed to just believe you? Now, I know sources are protected under the journalism, whatever. That's fine. You're not going to name one? There's not one? Okay. All right. And also, I'm Charlie's best friend. They shot my best friend all throughout. My best friend, my best friend, my best friend. You don't know the name of his pastor? What? You don't know the name of his pastor? You... Okay. All right. Sure, lady. Whatever you say.
Or whatever it is, to look the other way right now, okay? You're not going to tell me that I have to feel too bad to investigate who shot my friend in front of my face.
This line really got me. You're not going to make me feel bad who shot my friend in front of my face. You were not there. What do you mean he was shot in front of your face? The grifting, like, I can't. I am in shock and I don't know if it's because she's just angry and she's grieving and she's just lashing out, which is very possible. But this is dangerous. The stuff that she's saying is dangerous. This is a way to radicalize the other side. Do you see what I'm saying? I am in shock. Shot me in front of my face. And in front of what face? The screen you were looking at? Yes, we're all traumatized by that video. It's awful. If you've not seen it, do not watch it. It's horrible. It's awful. You were not there. You weren't there. He didn't shoot anybody in front of your face. You watched it through a screen. Pick a screen. I don't know which screen. But you weren't there. You know who he did get shot in front of their face? His wife and his kids. And his friend, Frank Turek. And the security people. And the poor kid that was asking him a question as the shot rang out. Those people he was shot in front of their face. Now is this not about you? My God. She was astral projecting. Anyway, here we go.
So stop the nonsense. This is what Charlie's pastor passed around to all of the people that were intimidating Charlie leading up to his death. It's funny that Charlie's pastor couldn't find his voice when Bibi Netanyahu was lying about.
I love the captions. This is a totally different topic, but the captions. Bibi Netanyahu. For those of you who are watching, the captions are hilarious. Great, anyway.
About Charlie, your pastor, you know what he's saying are lies. No, he didn't find his voice saying anything about Bibi Netanyahu. Candace investigating things? Yeah, that's got to stop. Here's what he wrote, okay? What's his name?
You get to
Rob
read it
McCoy.
now. So how do you... That is your best friend, supposedly, okay? You know all this stuff about Charlie. He's your best friend. One would think your husband would be your best friend, but okay. That's whatever. He's your best friend. You were trying to convert him to Catholicism. You say he was on the verge of Catholicism. You know all of this stuff. He was scared for his life. He was threatened. There was an intervention, blah, blah, blah. And you don't know his pastor's name? This is not the Catholic priest, by the way, that he was mentioning in that video clip we watched like an hour ago. This is his pastor. Whatever.
Well, Charlie Kirk was my friend and I was his pastor. I want to simply say this regarding Candace Owens. Charlie Kirk was a friend to Candace and never publicly spoke poorly of her, though he disagreed with her. He never operated nor entertained gossip or innuendo concerning Candace. My only comment I offer regarding Candace is this. I only wish at this tragic time of mourning, she would be the friend to Charlie Kirk that he was to her. He would never have treated Candace or her family in such a way had, God forbid, this tragedy been hers. A friend loves at all times, and he drops a biblical proverb. Now, let me say this, okay?
Benjamin, next week she wants access to nuclear codes to see if they still work. Yeah, Fuentes is another one. I don't like that guy. I've never really had seen anything. I know he was controversial. He was on Pearl's show. I know nothing about that guy. I don't like him. Nick the Greek says, Candace, investigating everyone else, grifting. Yeah.
I hope that Charlie would have been the sort of friend that I'm being. Okay? He would have never. Why? Why wouldn't Charlie Kirk have investigated if I had been killed and we were being so obviously lied to? I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think Charlie was a real friend and he would not have dropped it. He would not have let it go. Least of all, because he was being emotionally manipulated by a guy who curiously kept his mouth shut when BB lied. You knew, if you were really his close friend and pastor, how he was feeling about Bibi Netanyahu. You knew, if you were his close friend and pastor, exactly the names of everybody who was intimidating him and how poorly they are misrepresenting the things that he believed.
So here's my thing. So she's right. Like, the pastor would know. I would assume Charlie would have confessed to him or chatted with him about how he was feeling about Israel, right? I would not doubt that at all. But here's my thing. Do you think maybe the fact that the pastor didn't call out Bibi Netanyahu for lying about his statement, which all he said was that Charlie was a force of a man and he liked him, or whatever his basic statement was? Do you think that maybe have you considered the possibility that the pastor didn't call that out because it was true? I'm not saying either way. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay? We're almost done, guys, I promise.
So why don't you focus on being more honest as a pastor and giving as much information as you can possibly provide so that we can...
Oh my gosh, that scared me.
Chris the Geek 1883 just subscribed for 54 months. Hi Tuggs.
Hi!
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for the resub, Chris. Sorry you're coming in from like this rant. It's been an insane... I can't even believe it's been an hour and a half already. I promise I have good stuff. I promise. We're almost done. We're almost done with her. I promise. I'm just in shock. Honestly, I'm in shock. Andrew Matthews says, a pastor calling for common tolerance? The shock. The horror! Honestly. But has it ever crossed your mind that maybe he didn't call out? I'm not saying this happened. But maybe there's a possibility that Bibi Netanyahu wasn't lying about his opinion about Charlie and that they were cordial? No? Okay, whatever.
Continue this investigation. If you can't do this, I'm going to have to ask for your silence. Okay? Be quiet.
Now she's telling the pastor to be quiet.
I mean that. Nobody is going to stop me from investigating what happened to Charlie Kirk, because it feels to me, okay, that this is a conspiracy, a federal level conspiracy, which means that there's going to be somebody else, so maybe somebody close to Charlie that could be involved in this, right? And when I am satisfied that there is no conspiracy, I will communicate that. But at the moment, no, I am feeling the exact opposite. I don't trust anybody. There's a lot more information that I wish I could share, but I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to get uglier. And these absolute demons are trying to justify saying you shouldn't investigate until the funeral, until the state funeral, until, as I have heard, people are trying to buy their way. Okay. I've given this much money. I want to say some remarks about Charlie Kirk. Okay. Stop. Okay. Just stop. A real friend would investigate someone's murder, and they would not stop until they felt good about the resolution and the answers that they were given. And I'll let you know when that is, Pastor. Okay? All right. Before I get into some of your comments and see what you guys are thinking about all of this, I want to remind you about the wellness.
And then she goes into a bunch of ads. But where is... Oh, did I miss it? I might have missed it. That's okay. Where did it go? Shoot. Oh, yeah. I thought... I see your guys' comments. Subscribe to my show to see the text. I thought I had the video for it. I thought it was on there, but it's not. There is an ending to it's. I believe it's this one. I don't know where though, where it went. It doesn't matter, but I can find the video later if you guys really want to see it, or you can go look for yourselves. At one point during this video, I think it's more towards the end, maybe, she flat out says, "No one can shut me up except for my husband and Erica Kirk." Which I find hilarious because obviously her husband is a giant cuck, in my personal opinion, because the way she's run, way she's running her mouth right now and digging herself into this hole and causing all this controversy, splitting up the Christians, putting them against each other, splitting the right, putting them against each other, all this stuff, like, as a husband, and as a husband in the Catholic faith or the Christian faith or the godly faith, you should be able to tell your wife to shut up, right? He has not done that. He hasn't told her to be quiet because he's too scared to. He's not going to tell her to be quiet, please. Erica Kirk, I don't know. These are just a couple TikToks, but we watched the video, so it doesn't matter. But here's this one. We're gonna play this one, and I'm gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna go. We're done with this, and then we'll move on to happier things because they do have happy stuff. Oh, it would help if I played with volume. Oops.
This is most likely going to be my last video on this subject because, quite frankly, I think that there's better uses of our time, but I do have to ask one serious burning question that I have for those of you who are choosing to support Candace Owens. I am asking this question in good faith. I am genuinely curious how you guys are going to respond, so I do truly hope that I get good faith answers, and you guys actually hear me out and take into consideration what I'm saying, because believe it or not, just because somebody from your own side at that disagrees with you does not somehow make them some paid APAC agent. But my question for you is that the big claim to fame that Candace has going here, that she knows Israel did this, is these supposed text messages that nobody else has seen. And she keeps teasing them in her videos. She said that she would release them if people thought that she was lying. Plenty of us do, and she still hasn't released them. So my question is why? If anybody...
And that is what led me to even talk about this night. Not only the audacity of the woman to act that way, like, you are entitled to nothing. But Charlie's funeral is on Sunday, this big memorial service. They bought out Arizona Stadium, the Cardinals Stadium, for the day. The president, the vice president are all going to be there to do speaking. A bunch of other people are going to be speaking. You know who's not speaking? Which is weird because you're his best friend, is Candace Owens. She was not asked to speak at this memorial service, which, if she was truly his best friend, you would think that Erica would have stepped in and be like, hey, I don't see Candace on this list. Like, did you guys ask her? And she said no? Or, like, what's going on? She's not on the list to speak. I don't know if she's going. I will find out on Sunday. But she's not on the list to speak, which I find weird because you guys were so close. You guys are besties. You doing all this investigating. Kind of weird. Another thing to note, just observations. Fired from TPUSA in 2019, there have been several statements that have said that, like, there has been distance between the two of them for quite a few years. They're not seen in public as much. I think the last TPUSA event she went to was 2024, where obviously cordial, like, Charlie Kirk doesn't hold grudges, right? He's not going to be like, this bitch. You know what I mean? He introduced her, she spoke, it was fine. But just little things. Little things to be like, maybe we shouldn't be taking this woman at face value. It doesn't mean that you can't question. Okay, obviously, I think we've known enough now about the government and the media that, yes, they lie to us. Yes, they manipulate. I'm not saying don't question. But the audacity of this woman, in my personal opinion, to come out here and be like, I demand this footage. I demand it. I demand it, demand it, demand it. Who are you? First of all, calm down. Just settle. I am not comfortable with people who claim to be his friends, who claim to be his friends, who claim to know him best, to claim A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever, running their mouths out here and putting words into the man's mouth. He is dead. Go with the words that you know, that we have seen publicly, that we can all verify, and anything else, then release the messages. I'm not a proponent of that, but if you're going to run your mouth like this, I want proof. And that girl in the TikTok we just watched is true. She has been running her mouth about her sources and about messages that can verify A, B, and C. And so far, the only messages that I have seen are from the people rebuking her, refuting her claims. So until I see something otherwise, you be quiet. You know what I mean? It's just, there's nothing wrong with questioning things, but the girl is grieving so badly and she's so angry. Like, honestly, her husband needs to take control of her and tell her to chill. Like, she needs to take a step back and relax. We are not going to get all of the information until the trial. That happens with every court case ever. And if you say otherwise, you're lying. That does not happen. Everybody thought there was some big conspiracy with the Idaho college girls getting murdered too. And look, it wasn't. It finally came out during court. This is the timestamp. Here's everything. A, B, C. And it was like, oh, okay. Maybe, just a weird thought. They're, like I said earlier, they're holding on to this information because this is a worldwide situation. This man is still going to need to get a speedy and impartial trial, a fair trial. And the more information you release to the public, the less that is likely to happen. Period. This is not your investigation. You are not a cop. Calm down. I'm not saying there's not things to be like, oh, that's kind of weird. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is maybe just take a step out of the armchair that you're being a detective from and take a step backwards. You didn't know his pastor's name. You're not on the memorial list. I have yet to see any pictures of you flying to Erica Kirk's side to console your best friend's wife on his murder. You know who I did see? Usha Vance. I'm just throwing it out there.
I demand that she quits demanding.
I demand that she quits demanding. Yes. You know, it just is, we're not going to be privy. And this is with any murder case ever, especially the ones that are nationally known. Forget internationally known. You are not going to get everything right off the bat. They need to keep stuff quiet. One, to put their own timeline together, because good God, it's a mess. And two, you need to save stuff for court. Otherwise, the jury that's going to go in there, whether you agree or not, that's not how this country is run. The jury that's going to go in there is going to be biased as hell. And they're already going to be biased because we all saw the footage. We all saw the video, right? So it's going to be near impossible to find a jury. The questions they're going to have to ask these people to sit there and listen to the evidence, listen to the timestamps, listen to this, listen to blah, 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 and see all the footage that they're allowed to see. Not you, Candace Owens. Not me, not Tucker Carlson, not Megyn Kelly, that the jury is going to see so that they could come to a fair trial conclusion. It's like you guys forget how court cases work magically. I'm not saying don't question things, but the conclusions she specifically are coming to, and anybody that thinks like that, it's too quick. It's too quick. Question, sure, but A, B, and C here. Even there's multiple possibilities for everything she has brought up. It's like the timestamps, for instance, like I said earlier, they probably whited out for the release of the documents. Because again, that's information that's going to be needed for the trial. For the trial. Just by reading them, you can conclude when they most likely were sent. Spoilers, it was after the shooting. I don't know what to tell you guys. It just is. Anyway, my point is, and how I started this whole live stream is, the right needs to chill. We need to calm down. We need to take a step back, pray to God, not be so quick to anger. Literally in the Bible, not be quick to anger, okay? And we need to calm down. It doesn't mean that we can't question. It doesn't mean that we can't go, that's weird, or that doesn't quite make sense. But to come on here and demand that the federal agents send you and only you. Whoa. No, that's not how that works, first of all. To come on here and see a cup of Starbucks that says, feel better with a smiley face, and be like, oh, they're talking about Charlie. Blah, 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 blah. They're saying he needs to feel better, but he's dead. That's horrible. No, calm down. We need to chill. And that's my full circle almost 2 hours later. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm not done, but thank you for hanging with me during my rant for the last hour and a half. It's ridiculous. Prayer request for my wife getting tests done. Lord Jesus, please watch over Jose, Taco's wife. As she gets her test done, we pray that it's not cancer, that it's a benign yuckiness that could get removed with a quick snip. Because cancer sucks and nobody wants to go through that. Amen. Anyway. I think the FBI scripted the text. Maybe. But you know what I'm not going to do? Is I'm not going to go on a live stream in front of 3.4 million people and be like, that's what they did. That's what they did. And also Charlie was scared for his life of putting words in his mouth. And he was scared for his life. and he was trying to be bought by Israel, and they did this. So, oh my God. No, stop. Having a discussion, looking at things, me having people on and being like, do you think the FBI could have faked these? Maybe. That also they could be very real. And like I said earlier, plenty of killers, plenty of people that do these kind of crimes put themselves in a completely different mind space. So it could very well, now the roommate, okay, less of an explanation, but it very well could have been that Tyler was in a different, he had put himself, right, in the mind of a killer or a mind of a calm man to cope, to be able to deal with it, to be able to keep himself on a regiment. I don't know. I'm not him. I'm not talking to him. I'm not friends with him. I don't know. These are just speculations. Speculation, analyzing, sure. Armchair detective all day long. But when you are at the point where you are demanding, or you are calling for the heads of people, when you think you are so entitled to have this for you and only you, that's a problem. I don't care who it is. Right now it's Candace. Tucker's on my list as well, because I watched him run his mouth. It's not okay. Stop putting words in people's mouths. Stop putting words in people's mouths. Erica is now the CEO of Turning Point, and it'll be interesting to see who she shuts up. If she does. If she does. Speculation, right? It's fine. Hi, Chewy. Wait, Mars, I missed it. What did you say? Not trying to be disgusting. What did I miss? I can fix her? Oh, no. Anyway, that's my rant for the last hour and a half on the conservatives / Candace Owens / Tucker Carlson, because don't think he's safe either. I was mad at him too. The only texts I have seen proving anything at all, even just a little bit of the story and it all lines up, are the people who were at the Hamptons. And I've only seen like 3 people. I'm sure there's more, but I've only seen the 3. That's what I pulled up. I have yet to see anything from her. So, I don't know what she's going to do tonight. She went live an hour ago.
Tuggs, I work in payroll for Buffalo's football team. It's not the most fulfilling job, but it pays the bills.
Thank you, Corey, for the $5 super chat. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Anyway, too long, didn't read. The conservatives and the right need to calm the fuck down. Take a step back, go outside, hug your families, okay? Put down the phone, myself included. I've been on TikTok way too much. I've been online way too much. I've been chronically online for a week straight. It's affecting my mental health. I'm not glass houses, okay? We need to go outside and calm down. We are very dangerously leaning towards what the left is doing on a general daily basis, and we need to calm down. Calm down. You are not entitled to that information. The jury will be entitled to that information, and the lawyers that are prosecuting and defending will be entitled to that information, as well as the judge. Whether or not it gets released to the public is up to all of those people, not you. Not you with your 3.4 million viewers, not you with your 120 million viewers, Tucker Carlson, not you because you're this, not you because you donated $1 million to TPUSA, no. Nope. Question, sure. Speculate with your friends, sure. We could sit here and talk about how those text messages sound weird. Fine. But stop. Just because somebody writes a smiley face on a Starbucks cup that says feel better does not mean that they're attacking anybody. You need to chill. Calm your tits, you twat waffles. You twat waffles. Please send that one to Wicked. Wait, which one? It's in the post I saw from Candace and Tucker. Have we concerned about their sanity? Yeah. It just is. And listen, McGaming, I'm happy you like Candace. I'm happy that you take her at face value. I'm not happy that you take her at face value, actually, but that's your prerogative. Do what you want. I refuse to take anybody at their face value. From what I can see, from what I've seen as somebody who doesn't even watch her regularly, I'm coming into this blind because she's causing a stir on Twitter. I watched those 3 live streams back to back. I didn't watch tonight's, obviously, because I was live. Back to back. And all I'm hearing is my source, there's text, my source, me. That is all I'm hearing. And it's disappointing and it's sad. But anyway, that is my super giant. Oh, your Bills. Yes, you have to send that to Wicked. Isn't she a Bills fan? I'm pretty sure. Mate says, especially when there are so many obviously unhinged reactions from the left, you don't need to reach for anything. Yeah, there's that too. Captain, there is so much coming out, especially videos of the actual disgusting actions and reactions to the assassination, that it's getting exhausting trying to sift through it all. A mandatory tech break might in order. Like, literally shut the app down for like a day Everybody just shut it down. Elon, shut down Twitter. Oh no, we had a server problem. Oh no. For like 24 hours, give everybody a break. Honestly. Actually, no, you can't do that either because then these guys are going to come out and be like, see, Candace will be like, they're trying to silence me. Tucker will be like, they're trying to silence me. Oh, God, I can't. I'm exhausted. Davina says, what source? Yeah. Which source? I don't know. And it's all like, I'm exhausted. Anyway, so let's shift our mindsets. We're shifting our mindsets. I know. Yeah, he's got the cone. Are you drinking water? Good boy. I don't know if that's the best way to do that, but all right. We have happier news now. I don't know if anybody else saw this yesterday, but Dancing with the Stars this year has Robert Irwin and Topanga. I've yet to see Topanga's video, but Dancing with the Stars, Robert Irwin, it was the first night last night, and everybody who's anybody, we all love the Irwins. We love the Irwins, so I thought we could watch this because it's just so cute, and he actually does a really good job. I was impressed. So here we go.
Dancing the Jive. With
palate cleanser.
It's Robert Irwin.
I like how he's dressed like his dad. I'll turn this down a little bit. It's a cover, it should be fine, but I used to dance in high school, so I love Dancing with the Stars. I just love it. John. She is so pretty. I think one of my favorite parts about this, and I don't know if you guys can tell on the screen you're watching, but he was like singing along to the music the whole time. Pretty much. It was really cute. He's just having so much fun. Look at him. Yay! Hi, Hokies! Anyway, I saw that and that made me, I just thought that was so cute. Let's see, we'll watch this too. We'll end with this one. Hold on. I got sent this. We might talk about this on Morning Roast next week. I don't know. Stranger Things. This is more of a pop culture thing. Stranger Things, Doritos is releasing, I don't know when, some flavors, pizza flavored chips and Cool Ranch chips. They're combining them, which I think is a great idea, into a bag. And then they're releasing a Demigorgon garlic dip. I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to try this dip. I'm not going to lie. Slime, my favorite. Not my cup of tea, but he did look like he was having so much fun. I love Robert Irwin. It's really funny to watch the girls kind of drool over him because he's grown into a very handsome man. And he's done photo shoots where he's like wearing tank top. I don't know. All the girlies are drooling. And I'm like, I remember when he was a baby. Please stop. It's weird. Morning Roast Food Challenge. If I can find them. I don't know that they're releasing them in the UK and Canada, though. I don't know. If I can find these, I'm getting it. Is this a garlic dip? Heck yeah. The problem with the garlic dip, though, because it's black, it's going to stain your teeth. So be careful with that. Don't bust this out on a date night, okay? You will have black teeth. Here we go. The limited edition release is to promote the show's final season nods to the 80s and introduces a new Stranger Pizza flavor. I hope it fails like purple ketchup did. Oh, God. Purple ketchup was so gross. Let's see when this is going to get released. I actually didn't read this article. Here we go. Doritos launches ridiculous new Stranger Things chips and Demogorgon dip. Doritos is diving into the upside down with a bizarre new Stranger Things collab that fuses two iconic chip flavors in one bag alongside a black garlic dip. Honestly, the pizza and ranch flavor in one bag is genius. I love ranch on my pizza. Are you okay? The company's Collisions line mixes two flavors in a single pack, and the latest combo pairs Cool Ranch with a brand new Stranger Pizza flavor. The move ties back to the 80s setting of Stranger Things when Cool Ranch first debuted, also while answering fans' demand for pizza-flavored Doritos. Alongside the mashup, Doritos is dropping glow-in-the-dark Stranger Things packaging for the spicy sweet chili minis. Ooh. The canisters feature bite-sized versions of the beloved purple bag chips wrapped in designs that light up in the dark. Are we supposed to be eating that? I don't know about that, but okay. The partnership extends to limited edition Stranger Things packaging across nacho cheese, Cool Ranch, sweet and tangy barbecue, and spicy sweet chili, plus 4 Doritos and Cheetos minis. Beginning September 30th, fans can also call... Oh, this will be fun for you, Stranger Things fans. Beginning September 30th, fans can also call 1-855-4-HAWKINS as part of the Chip In for Hawkins telethon, themed around 1987. Oh, that's so cool. Plus, to dip the chips, Doritos is also releasing a black garlic dip with a Demigorgon on the packaging. Let's see. The first will... Let's see. Season 3... When is the chips releasing, Britt? Doesn't say when the chips are releasing, but it does say that the first 3 parts of the final season, the first is debuting on Thanksgiving or the day before Thanksgiving, and then on Christmas Day, and then December 31st. That doesn't tell me. I 100% want to try that black garlic dip. That sounds so good. I might have to keep an eye out for that one. Chips Ahoy is also doing limited edition cookies. I have seen the cookies in stores. Walmart had them. Oh yeah. What do you guys think? Are you wanting to try this? I've RIP our toilets, honestly. Can you drop a link to this article in Discord? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I will do that as soon as I sign off. Heck yeah. For one, I love garlic dip. I don't know that I would use these specifically to dip in. That would be gross. But like regular tortilla chips or even like veggies, like peppers, sweet peppers or something would be good in a garlic dip. Yes, ma'am. Sign me up, buddy. Let's see. Oh. I am a Patriots fan. Everybody's gonna make fun of me now. Somebody in the chat's gonna be like, oh, that's why you don't like him, so and no. Now it's gonna turn your poop black. I mean, it's just a garlic dip with food coloring, but yeah. Have anybody missed this? All my football people. Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski have reunited. It looks like they were at the Chiefs Stadium doing whatever it is that they do. They host now. And I just want to play this because I thought this was hilarious. If you listen, like forget watching the video, just listen to Gronk. He's talking shit and it's hilarious.
Tom, let's see what you got, buddy.
Ready, Robbie G?
Let's see what you still got. 60 years old, with a bat. Baby. Coke rock. We still got it. 87. Give me some luck. Love that ball.
Look how far that was. Listen, Rob Gronkowski, who's yelling, he's like 60 years old. He's picking on Tom's age. But the gap between those two balconies is absolutely bonkers. And for a man who's retired and doesn't do any footballing anymore, the fact that that was a perfect spiral and right into Gronk's hands means the man has now lost it. Okay? Unretirement win. Unretirement win! Please. Please! Oh, thank you, CJ, for the link. Thank you. I graduated high school in 1987. I was born in 1987. You're welcome, John, for making you feel old. I got tagged in this, and it just made me smile. Please stay retired. I hate Tom Brady, and it's due to jealousy. Why does God love some people so much? Doing this kind of stunt in Kansas City makes no sense. Oh, don't be a party pooper, Derek. I'm a big Pats fan. It breaks my heart that we are back to sucking very badly. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was fun. That was on the 14th, so a few days ago. Respect where respect is due. That's coming from Eagles fan. Yes, Captain. I'm gonna watch it again. Gronk is never growing up. Watch this spiral, though, you guys. Look at this. Yoink. Perfect. It's like they never left. Oh, I miss them. I tell you, that Patriots era we will never get that back. And not even just because of Tom's, like, solely, but Gronk, Amendola, Edelman, all those guys, like that, they played off each other so well. Oh, I miss it. I miss it. What else do I have? Oh, I don't know if we're gonna have time to talk about this. This is an old, well, yeah, we do. This is an old post. I want to know what you guys think about this. We're switching to nerd news now. Sorry about that. We're switching to nerd news. This is back in July. Somebody posted this comparison here. This is Brandon Sklenar. Sklenar. I'm gonna get it, Brandon. I'm so sorry. Brendan Sklenar. Those of you might know him from, if you unfortunately saw the Blake Lively movie, It Ends With Us. He was in that. He's probably most known for 1923, the TV show, the prequel to Yellowstone. He's in that. The movie Drop. It's a thriller movie that came out earlier. It's actually not a bad movie. You should watch it. He's in that. Anyway, this guy over here on the left in the baseball cap is a personal trainer, and he posted this photo back in July of Brandon and himself with the caption, training my buddy for his biggest role yet. Proud of you, dude, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but that was basically the caption. You guys can't quite see the caption because it's behind my camera, but the tweet says, Brandon Sklenar has to be at least 230 pounds now. At 6'3", he's an absolute monster. Literally the ideal Batman physique, ripped right out of the comics. David would have the perfect gym bro. Those behind the scenes workout vids would be insane. That's me, says Hertz. So comparatively, this is Superman. We don't get to see this physique in the movie. I know a lot of girls were disappointed about that. Sorry, ladies, especially after coming from Henry Cavill being shirtless all the time. But David Cornsweat put on a huge amount of muscle, as you guys can see as well. So comparing the two. But anyway, my point is that Brandon here over on the left in the black and white photo, he has been, like, the rumors are flooding that he is the new Batman. His age fits because Gunn is looking to do The Brave and the Bold, so he's a little bit older. Damian Wayne's supposed to be involved, so that puts Bats at about mid-40s or so. So he's a right age, the physique, obviously. And we talked about this on my other show over on X-Ray Girls channel, Morning Rose on her channel. We talked about it briefly the other day, but these actors don't get into this shape anymore, well, really at all, unless they're training for a role like that. Either it's a superhero role or maybe like a heavyweight champion type of role. Like I know Tom Hardy got in insane shape for his boxing movie that he did, or fighting movie that he did years and years ago. So I wanted to see what you guys think. What do you guys think? Do you think he is the new Batman? I don't know. A bunch of people do. This was the comment section for the trainer. Batman, is that Brandon Sklenar or is that Bruce Wayne? We're all thinking Batman, right? Batman! I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? James Gunn has confirmed that Robert Pattinson is not the Batman in his universe. So it will be a different Batman. Agree, disagree. It is what it is. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Terminal list Dark Wolf is very good. Look up Tom Hopper.
Thank you, Andrew Matthews, for the 5 British pounds. Yes, the first Terminal list was great. So I would have to, it's on my list of things to watch. Andrew Matthews, thank you for the 5 British pounds. Tom Hopper. I don't know much about him, says Captain, but if the rumors are true, I wish him the best. I think he looks just like Batman, personally. But that's just me. I don't know. It'll be interesting. This is kind of old news. So, anything else? Anyway. I don't know. It's interesting to see. Also, I wanted people to see. Poor David Cornsweat didn't get to show off all the muscle he built. And so here you guys go. I know there's a lot of men in here, but here you guys go to see that, yes, indeed, he did bulk up. And yes, indeed, he did gain muscle. Bye, Tyler. But yeah, so I saw that. I thought that was nice. Let's see. What other good news do we have? Another good news. Something wholesome. We don't need sound for this. Well, yeah, we do. But I saw this on TikTok yesterday. ABC News posted it, and I thought you guys would like this. Somebody asked for puppy videos earlier, so here's one for you.
We're police! Anybody in here?
The house is on fire in this video.
Come on. Sorry, buddy. Come here.
Look at it. The dog brought him to his leash. He's so cute.
Come on, Oakley. This way, Oakley.
Come on, Dougie.
Anna thinks David Cornsweat is unattractive.
Really? Objectively, that's just not true. Anyway, I thought that was cute. I thought that was cute. Let me look up Tom Hopper. We'll do this live. Oh, he's the guy. Dude, I thought this guy was Glenn Powell. First time I ever saw him. He's not. He's not Glenn Powell. That's that. Anyway, I have one final video to add since we've been talking about Charlie. A happy video about Charlie. Hannah doesn't like anything. That's fair. No more Sydney Sweeney story. She's in the new movie The Housemaid. If I see any pictures of her, though, I will throw them in the Discord. One last video before we go, and that'll bring us to our normal 2 hours. Is this adorable? If you guys have not seen this Charlie Kirk show where Erica guest starred, I do want to bring this up just in general because we talk about if you guys are familiar with my channel on Wednesdays, another YouTube channel that I have is called Poor Choices, and we talk about dating, relationships, etc. The way that one, he's looking at her right now, should be a goal, but two, watch the way Erica looks at him, and it's just happy way to end this.
Wow.
Ready, Terrell?
Hold on.
We're rolling?
We're not.
All right, you'll be switching. All right, I'll count it down.
Wait. I'm kind of nervous, you guys.
She's nervous, which is why we must get going.
Yeah, that's
all right. You ready?
No.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Charlie Kirk Show.
You're gonna have to do it again.
Introduce yourself.
Is that what you're gonna say?
This was the first time she was on his show after they got engaged.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Charlie Kirk Show.
You're so handsome.
I'm engaged.
You see the way she's looking at him?
Yourself,
she's like, oh, you're so handsome.
How would you like me to start? All right, we'll try it again. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Charlie Kirk Show. Joining me is the most special guest, my fiance, Erica. Welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show.
Anyway, I just thought that was cute. This particular video cuts out the beginning of it here where she's like, I'm not gonna, oh, there it is. Wait, hold on. We missed a part. Wait.
I'm not gonna be able to focus sitting this close to him.
You could just see it. Look at her face. That's love, guys. That's love. I just want you guys to see this because one, it made me so happy. Like, it's a sad happy. Also, this episode of the Charlie Kirk Show is really great. If you can go find it, it was a few years ago. But the way she looks at him is just, she's like, I'm not going to be able to focus with you sitting there. Look at her. Anyway, too long didn't read. Find somebody who looks at you the way that Erica Kirk looked at Charlie. Hi, Cappy. Cappy is the most adorable person in chat. That's facts. Anna doesn't find David Corn. So I find that so crazy because just like objectively speaking, I don't know if that's true, but you know, it's fine. Girl's got her taste. It's okay. We're not going to judge her. That is that. That is, I didn't see you earlier. I'm sorry, Cappy. That is the end of this chat stream. Thank you guys. We're going to end on some happiness, with these two adorable, true love soulmate people. I just can't. I love them so much. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for the last 2 hours. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome. I would hope that somebody somewhere watches this or was watching and maybe just like calms down. Thank you guys so much. I hope that this was a good stream for you guys. If you liked this kind of content, let me know. I don't do it often. I usually do gaming streams, but I had to come on here and talk about Charlie a little bit and kind of put a different perspective on the people that are speaking in his words, like speaking for him and claiming to be things and just jumping to conclusions. And everybody's angry and everybody's hurting right now. And I understand, you know, having that anger and like lashing out. Like grief is not easy. And everybody grieves in different ways. But sometimes, and I think quite a bit of people, especially on the social media front, on the right, need to take several steps backwards for a minute. Just turn it off for a day. Myself included. Okay, myself included. Turn it off for a day. get off of the social media. Put your conspiracies away. Stop jumping to conclusions. Be patient and just let things play out. And if things don't play out the where we have answers, then yeah, okay, yeah, cause a stink. But we are not entitled to anything. We're not entitled to know things right away. We're not entitled to information. We're definitely not entitled or privy to have the videos given to us or the footage or whatever. Like I said, that all has to go to court. So you can't have a fair trial with that information in the back of your head. You know what I mean? So everybody just needs to take a step back. Focus on what Charlie would do. And that would be, yes, question, have a discussion around it, but don't lose your heads. And that was his whole point at anything. The left gets too emotional. We can't get too emotional. We have to have a level head. So the truth will come out. How is Vinny doing? He's doing good. Vinny's doing good. He's doing better. His balls are gone. He's not happy about that. And his cone is entirely too big for the space, but we're working on it. He's fine. No games today, but tomorrow gaming. I haven't decided if I'm going to play a scary game or if I'm going to jump into Fallout again for the night. I'll figure it out tomorrow. But gaming tomorrow, gaming on Saturday. What is today? The 18th, the 19th. Gaming on Sunday. I haven't updated next week's schedule, but so you guys, Sunday and Monday there will be gaming streams. So yeah, that's that. I know. Logic is greater than emotion. Yes. Amen, mate. But yeah, if anybody wants to catch up, you can. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for my rants for the last 2 hours, and I hope the videos at the end made you guys smile. I know the shirtless man thing was more of a ladies, but I mostly just wanted to get the conversation started about Batman. So let me know if you think that he's going to be Batman or not in the comments. And yeah, as always, I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow for gaming. I'll figure out what I'm playing tomorrow. Yeah, thank you guys so much for your support and for hanging with me. And I love you guys. God bless you all. And I'll see you later. Bye.